Hi everybody, here we go with my final update video of my collection so far. This is part 4 and this is going to be DC characters, which isn't very many, and the rest of the Marvel. So on this first shelf we have Catwoman, Batman and the Bat Armory. So we'll take a look at Catwoman first. Great looking figure, this one. Does look like Anne Hathaway. Quite a few people say it doesn't, but I suppose it depends on the angle that you're looking at it. But to me it does look like her, and I think it's a really good representation of the character from the movie. All round top figure. One of the best female figures Hot Toys have done. The glasses part of the mask, which is sitting upon her head, is very delicate. I have mentioned it in videos that I've done of this figure. Mine did break. I had to buy another one off eBay. But if you're thinking about getting this figure, that's just something to bear in mind. Do be careful when moving that about. Next to her we have Batman himself. This one has got the Bat Armory head sculpt on it, and that's because it's more accurate. Hopefully it will focus, because it shows the blackness around the eyes. The actual head sculpt that came with this figure didn't have the blackness. Don't like the cape. I will probably change this for a Tony May cape at some point. And in the background we have the Bat Armory, which does have a light up feature. Comes with loads of accessories inside this. So if you're a huge Batman fan, it's a good thing to have. There is another company that's made one of these as well, which is pretty good quality, but this one is just that little bit better because it's done by Hot Toys. So moving on down to the second shelf. Here we have the last of my DC characters and some more Marvel. So we have Abigail Whistler and Blade in the front, and behind them we have General Zod and the very new Superman. So we'll take a look at Abigail Whistler first. Quite an old figure, this one now. I'd love it if Hot Toys remade this and gave us a decent head sculpt, but I doubt very much that they will. I think they finished with the Blade line. They're not going to do any more. The string, rubber string on the bow, does tend to become loose. Mine did. I've had to wrap it up quite tight around the pulleys there just to make it look good. All in all, great looking figure. For its time, it was very good. It's obviously not as good as the newer female figures that Hot Toys have brought out, but it's still a good figure to have. Next to her we have Blade. This is another figure that's been out a long time. I was really hoping that Hot Toys would do a DX version of this, especially now that they've got the sculpting a lot better. Because the face sculpt on this isn't the best, and I think now that they could do a really good job on this figure, but I doubt that they will do it. This is a holy grail piece for a lot of Hot Toys collectors. It's quite highly sought after, and it is bloody expensive now as well. Comes with quite a few accessories, so you get your money's worth with this figure. So I'll put a little pause in here and we'll take a look at the two DC characters in the background. Okay, these are my final DC characters that I've got. We have General Zod, which, as I mentioned in part 3, it's virtually one of the very few villains that I've got in my collection. I did have the DX Joker, but I've sold him. A lot of people are saying, what the hell did you sell him for? Yes, he's a brilliant looking figure, but I just fell out of love with him. I don't know why, it just sort of really happened all of a sudden. I just sort of had him in the cabinet, and my eyes just passed past him. Just didn't really look over him that much, and that's a sign for me that maybe it's a figure that I didn't want in my collection, and I needed a little bit of cash at the time. So he went. Along with him, I sold my Blade as well. Not Blade, my Bane as well. So they're the two DC figures that I've sold recently. Next to him, we have the Batman vs Superman figure. I've sold the original Superman that I had because I just preferred the look of this one. And this is the special edition version, as it's got the light up kryptonite. The two stands that I've got with these characters here, they're not the original stands. The original stands are quite large, and they just wouldn't really be able to get more than two figures in the detail. So when I do get some more details, which I don't know when that'll be, I will get those stands out so I can be able to pose these up properly. But two great figures. Glad I've got them in my collection. So we'll just move on down to the third shelf now. Okay, down to the third shelf. Here we have my black suited Spider-Man from the Spider-Man 3 movie. I will be getting the new Spider-Man when it is actually released, but they haven't announced it yet. In the background we have the Heartbreaker Iron Man suit with Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man version, next to him. And in the front we have the special movie promo edition of Scarlet Witch from the Age of Ultron. I haven't done a video on her yet, but it will be coming. So we'll take a look at Spider-Man first. I did used to have the red and blue suited Spider-Man, but I preferred this one, so he went quite a while ago now. It's not a good representation of what Spider-Man looks like, because he's a lot slimmer than this, which is why I'm waiting for the new Spider-Man to get him. I will probably still keep this one. That's the alternate Tobey Maguire head sculpt. As I said, I will keep this one because I just like the black suited Spider-Man from the comics. Next to him we have the movie promo Scarlet Witch. That marble that she's got in her hand doesn't come with the figure. I just added that just to show that she's building up her energy, ready to fire out her blasts. I just thought it was a good idea. This is very similar to the Winter Soldier version that's coming out. The only real differences are I don't think the Civil War version has got the red around the boots. The gauntlets on the arms are a little bit different, and the jacket is very similar, but it doesn't have this bit on the front with the Civil War version. And the head sculpt is slightly different on this one. Well, the face sculpt is the same, but the hair is a bit different from the this version in this cabinet, which you saw on my previous video. But I'm a sucker for female characters for that Hot Toys produces, which is why I've got this one as well as the one, the original version, and I've also ordered the Civil War version as well. So I'll put another little pause in here, and we'll check out the two in the background. Okay, here we have the Heartbreaker Iron Man suit. Again, this one doesn't have the original stand. The original stand's a bit bigger than this. I believe this is the stand that come with the Secret Project Iron Man suit that you saw in the previous video. But it's a great looking suit. It's different from all the others, which is why I've got it. I have sold off a few Iron Men. I think I mentioned that in the previous video. But this is one that I wanted to keep purely because it is a different look. Great all-round suit, this one. And next to him we have the original release of Ant-Man. I'm not getting the newer version from the Civil War movie because I prefer the look of this one. The helmet on this is superb. A little bit fiddly with the pipes at the back, they do keep popping out. But other than that, great. I love the suit on this version as well. I don't like the suit on the newer version. So that is why I'm not ordering that one. I am sort of cutting down on my ordering now. Generally speaking, when I buy a figure, I'll probably sell 2 figures to fund it. So my collection is slowly getting a bit smaller. So I'll just put the other 2 back in the front again, and we'll move down to the final shelf. Okay, and on to the final shelf. Actually, the Mark IV is in this shelf, not the other shelf. In the front we have the original release of Wolverine. Still a great looking figure. I am doing my own version of this. So when it's done, I will do a video of it. Then we have the Mark IV Secret Project, which I wrongly said earlier was in cabinet number 3, but it's not, it's in this one. Behind them we have Sideshow's version of Deadpool. And in the background we have the best Wolverine that's ever been made, in my opinion anyway, the Days of Future Past one. So we'll take a look at this Wolverine first. This is Wolverine is my favourite Marvel male character. Along with Deadpool comes a pretty close second. But this is a great figure. The head sculpt isn't really accurate at all. But it's just something about this figure that a lot of collectors will agree with me. It's just something about this figure that is awesome. And it's just one that looks really good in your collection. Maybe I think it might be the way that he looks with the suit on, but it just really is a nice looking figure. Next to him we have a very highly sought after Iron Man. This is the Mark IV Secret Project figure, going for big money, especially in Hong Kong and places like that. But it is rapidly increasing in value. I did have the red and gold Mark IV version, but since put him on eBay in favour of keeping this one. Really is great looking colour. Looks a lot lighter on the camera here because of the light on it. It's a little bit darker than what you're seeing on screen. So I'll put a little pause in again and we'll check out the final 2 in the background. Okay, starting with the Sideshow Deadpool. This is the only Sideshow 1/6 scale figure I've got left in my collection now. I just had to have a comic book version of Deadpool. This one is probably the best Sideshow 1/6 scale figure that they have released at the moment. They're getting better and better with their figures. It comes with loads and loads of accessories. Really is a great figure to have. I have got the Hot Toys version, movie version, on order as well. Obviously when he comes through I'll do a video with him, and I'll do a comparison with the 2 together as well in a separate video after that. And finally, the last figure we look at is the best Wolverine 1/6 scale figure, in my opinion, that has been released. This is the Days of Future Past Wolverine. Doesn't come with hardly any accessories apart from some couple of spare hands, but it doesn't really need it.
Would have been nice if maybe they give him a diorama type base, but that head sculpt is the best Hugh Jackman head sculpt out there at the moment. I don't think it's 100% accurate, but you're never going to get that. But it is just an awesome looking figure. If you're after a Wolverine 1/6 scale figure, you cannot go wrong with this one. Doesn't articulate brilliantly, but I think it just looks good in the museum pose anyway. So yeah, I'll just put the other two back in the front and we'll take one final look over this final cabinet. Okay, so there we have it with my final update video. Oh well, there is one character I've forgotten. How could I forget? Hulk. This is the Age of Ultron Hulk. Still haven't got a cabinet for him, which is why he's loose at the moment. And it comes with the alternate torso as well, with the arms up in the air where he's smashing down on somebody. So check back on my videos to see an in-depth video on this guy. So yeah, there you go. That is the end of my mid-year update. And there goes the camera light yet again. The more I look at this Scarlet Witch figure, the more I like it. It really is a nice looking figure. So as you can see, a lot of figures that I had in my last update have gone, and there's a few more been added, but more have been sold than I've sold more than I've actually bought, which is pretty good for me. I've got two on the way at the moment. They were stuck in Germany due to bad weather. It's the Elder Predator from AVP, the new version. And I've got the latest Iron Man suit as well coming, both together. So stay tuned for videos on them, possibly just over a week's time. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.